Good morning, everybody. We got update 72 on the horizon, and so I wanted to quickly go over the update patch notes for people that don't really read patch notes and are interested about some of the new stuff that's going to be coming out. I was going to say tomorrow, but today, because this is when the video is coming out. It's coming out today, February 26th. So let's do the quick rundown of what's going to be in here. You've got updates to the monk, updates to TRing and the anniversary. So let's break it down. So first of all, we got the anniversary. For those of you that have not done the anniversary before, basically there's just like a special event where you go in and do an activity. You get little favor tokens whenever you beat it, and you can turn them in for some cool items. There's some noteworthy stuff that you can add in the anniversary. There's like the D12 that lets you teleport back to town. There is some sentient jewels that people like. So there's just some unique items and some cosmetics and stuff. So again, if you're interested, you got until March 18th to run through it, which is kind of cool. And I believe, I don't know if it said here, but I think they made adjustments to the anniversary event as well. So it's slightly different. They usually do that between the years, changed up based on like what's going on in the game and what's happening. So for example, sometimes the cast of characters inside the event actually changes, and it's pretty fun if you've never run it the first time. I personally only run it one time just to see the new changes because I don't really care much for a lot of the stuff that comes out of the anniversary. But I swear like half the people I know are like, no, dude, the dragon sentient jewel is the best sentient gem of them all. So your mileage may vary. You may enjoy it a lot more than I do. However, we do get 2 weeks of bonuses. 19% heroic, epic XP, guild round, raper XP, and crafting. Why is it 19%? Because it's the 19th anniversary, which is kind of funny. So neat stuff. Huge bonuses until March 11th, which is pretty nice. Also, it's Champion Hunter Week. And also, you can play on the 64-bit Cormier server. So you can play on Cormier, do the anniversary event, get extra XP. It's a good time. So play around with the anniversary event, have some fun. Also, the Dragon Disciple is now free. So this is a brand new character archetype. So it's an alternate version of the monk. It focuses on like spell casting and elemental damage. And it's completely free to play now, which is kind of cool. Free to play as in you can claim it by logging into the game and talking to Zathril in the Hall of Heroes before March 25th. So if you are watching this video and it is not March 25th, 2025, just even if you're like, I'm not really playing DDO right now, I'm playing some other video game, just log into the game, talk to the guy in the Hall of Heroes, and then turn the game off so you get it added to your account. Highly recommend doing that. Now, along with the anniversary, we are getting an anniversary gift. So there is going to be a gift that will be given out. So there's going to be a free scarf. I don't have a picture for you. I should have logged in and gotten a picture, but what are you going to do? But it's free, so you can go get it yourself. And on top of that, there is a Djinn who you can talk to who gives you a 6-hour discovery boost for 10% increased chance to get named item loot. This is very nice because the general chance to get a named item is 33% on elite or 10% on normal, 16% on hard. So as a result, this means that your buffs go to 20% on normal, 26% on hard, and 43% on elite. With Reaper mode adding 1% extra chance each time you run each difficulty, going up to an extra 10% at Reaper 10, means you can get 53% discovery boost just by playing the game if you're playing on Reaper 10, which most people aren't. And on top of that, this stacks with the actual elixirs of discovery, and I assume the VIP discovery bonus. So I believe it is possible to get 79% discovery. 69% discovery right now, which is pretty nice. So again, it's a nice little bonus. It's good. Glad to see it. But the discovery thing we'll talk about in a minute. They also changed up the monk class. I'm not going to go over everything here because I already did a video about some of the changes. I'm just going to say a few things real quick. Number one, if you are looking for monk videos, monk guides, monk builds, I'm going to be putting out a pretty comprehensive guide, like for starters, for beginners, to get into one of the 3 different types of monk. So I'll be doing that. And then also Dragon Disciple will be a separate video because they're very different. But also, I want to be able to kind of give people a starting point, somewhere to start with that they can work pretty well through. So that will be coming out soon. I was just waiting until we had everything finalized because there are some changes between Lemania 2 and here that are pretty substantial. So I didn't want to put it together before I had all the information. So general changes, if you don't want to read a lot of these notes. Number one, the combo system of builders and finishers is gone. So there's no more builders and then spenders. That's it. Instead, all those spenders are now just abilities in the monk tree. So if you're ever worried that monk was too complex for you, well, now you just, if you want to do something, you just press the button. So that's one of the major changes to the game. Number two is that the monk class is just kind of more powerful. There's more powerful stuff in all of the trees. You get more melee power. Just for leveling up while using hand wraps. You get a whole bunch of just general bonuses, and it's just more stats. Every tree has more melee power. Every tree has more this, that, and the other thing, so that's pretty good. And on top of that, because a lot of the abilities have been changed so that they're actually just in the tree, they're, for a lot of people, going to be easier to access. As far as I know, most abilities have been preserved at this point, so all the things that people wanted to see are still in the game, so just keep that in mind. So, big changes. The Ninja Spy... Again, don't really want to go through a lot of this thing, but they basically added a lot of numbers everywhere. So, 10% fort bypass and melee range power has an additional 10 melee power. So they're just adding in melee power and other stuff in places, just because it was a little old. Few other changes: flashbang is now usable. They made the projectile faster. Shadow Flurry has the unable to cast spells effect, which is pretty convenient and very useful in a lot of different places. They still have the poison exploit if you're interested in doing that. Cloak of Shadows having flashbang, where you become invisible, it's not broken by actions, is really crazy because it means you can just not 100% of the time, but it's only got a 9-second cooldown. So being invisible in combat has a lot of really cool applications. So you can do some stuff. They actually made Shadow Double kind of good, which is wild to think about. And then Touch Death. I don't know if people are going to press this button, but we're going to see. So yeah, overall, Ninja Spy, it was one of the worst trees in the entire game, and they have made it to being slightly better. I honestly don't have a good read on how much better Ninja Spy is. It's definitely better because the numbers are better, but Ninja Spy was pretty bad before, so we're going to kind of see what happens. They also added more shuriken support than it had before, and yeah, so we'll see how it goes. Henshin Mystic, not Henshin Mystic, sorry, I'm scrolling around too much. Shintao. Shintao has been changed. Oh, all these trees, you can use whatever monk weapons you want. I forgot to mention that. You can use whatever monk weapons you want. So if you always wanted hand wraps, but you wanted to play as a ninja spy, you can do that now. If you thought Shintao was really cool, but you wanted to use dual-wield longswords with whirling steel strike, you can do that now. Anything that was weapon-specific is now not weapon-specific. This does also mean that you're able to dip into all of the trees and kind of use all the different abilities, which is kind of cool. So just keep that in mind. So in Shintao, you're able to just, again, it's just got more damage and more stuff. Healing Key is now in here because it used to be light, light, light. Well, now it's just a button you press. So you get Hands of Mercy with Healing Key, and then Greater Healing Key is here as well. There's also Hands of Harm, which is the auto crit. So you just slam a guy. So auto crit is now in Shintao, which is kind of neat. And then Tier 5 is pretty much the same. All the rest of the stuff is pretty much the same. Shintao didn't really need a crazy amount of changes. It just is now up. It's got more damage, more numbers, and it's been updated a little bit for kind of modern times, which is not too bad. Also, it has Quick Strike when it used to be restricted to quarter staves. So pretty sick upgrade. And then lastly, we have the Henshin Mystic. Henshin Mystic, which just kind of had some of its stuff shoved around. It's a lot more powerful than it was before. And on top of that, you can now get Wisdom to hit and Wisdom to damage by level 3, which means you don't have to buy Falconry anymore if you want to be a monk player. Pretty big, sizable change. Every monk can get Wisdom to hit and damage, which is just generally nice. And not only do they get Wisdom to hit and damage, but they also get this new ability, Clear Your Mind, which is a Wisdom Trance, which just costs a bunch of key. And you actually have a fair amount of abilities now that you want to be using. So unlike before, where you'd be using these low-cost abilities to build up to a spender, now, if you want, you can just have the Battle Trance, have Kata of Ice for a freeze. You can just go and grab, actually, if you're ice, you can't grab that, but you can grab Dark Path. So you have the, not Dark Path, where is it? Is it Dark Path? Yeah, sorry, Hand of Harm. So you can get the auto crit. So you'll just actually have a lot of abilities you can kind of rotate through and actually spend some of your key. You are still going to be overcapped on key. There's no way to spend all of it, but it is what it is. Also, they get attack speed at level 1 instead of level 20. Very cool. But yeah, so that is the gist of Monk. I think personally it is a buff. It is an improvement pretty much across the board. There might be one or two things that are missing, and the people that know what those things are going to let me know in the comments because they're still mad about it. But overall, if you were somebody who was scared of Monk, you didn't want to play it because it seemed complicated, and it just seemed like it was a lot and it was overwhelming. I highly encourage you to try again. It is more straightforward and streamlined, but it still retains a lot of the awesome abilities that Monk gets. And so realistically, you're not really missing out on anything, which is kind of cool. The only thing you're missing out on is the couple of things they did give to Dragon Disciple Monk that they did not give to regular Monk. Dragon Disciple is Monk, but it's a spellcaster. It is going to be free starting today until March 25th. You can claim it from the guy in town. There's going to be a little icon on your screen that'll tell you where to go. And basically, Dragon Disciple is Spellcaster Magic Dragon Monk. So you actually get a spellcasting tree. So you get spellcasting spells. This is based off of your wisdom for your mana and your DCs. And the general idea is you're going to be able to get the spell focus feats from some of your Monk feats, and it's meant to be generally like a hybrid melee spellcaster. Is this character, just to answer any questions, is Dragon Disciple Monk going to be tier 1, like the best class, S tier, amazing? No, but it is going to be cool. It's going to level pretty well, and it has some goofy stuff you can do with multi-classes, so expect to see a fair amount of Dragon Disciple initially, and expect to continuously see Dragon Disciple as it is. It's interesting, and it does some good stuff in the game. But the TLDR, they don't get Henshin Mystic. Instead, they get their own Dragon Disciple tree, and effectively, it's just going to enhance all of your Draconic magic. I'm not going to go through the tree too heavily, because it's wickedly straightforward. It's like got SLAs, so you can take your things. It's got an imbue, which gives you extra damage on hit, and it's got literally every good stat. Universal spell power, imbue dice, extra key on hit, mana. It's got the trance. It's got a stun immune cast effect. It's got the bonus to hit chance that you got from this is light earth, or earth light earth is here. You got firelight fire, which is here. It's got more imbue dice, DCs, more crit, all sorts of stuff. So again, pretty straightforward. Not really going to go through it. And then the spells themselves, again, also you've got the Draconic Bursts, the Acolyte's Breath, the Greater Draconic Bursts, and then the Draconic Devastations, as well as top-tier spells for each dragon color. So you've got Chain Lightning, Cone of Cold, Delayed Blast Fireball, Black Dragon Bolt, and Poison Breath, depending on which of the 5 colors of dragon you wish to play. So, again, is it going to be amazing? It's going to be fun for sure. Having tested it, the spells, the Draconic Burst, the lesser and the regular Draconic Burst, they cast a lot faster, so they actually don't feel terrible. That was one of the biggest problems with it, is that it actually feels good in the early game, except these spells have such a terrible cast time. Fortunately, that has been adjusted and fixed, which is good. And so you'll actually be able to play around with this and do some spell casting and stuff. Again, we'll see how it turns out, but it's definitely going to be fun to play. I don't see this taking over the game. This is not going to take over the meta, but that's okay. You don't need everything to take over the meta. Maybe it's good that people spend some time and then 3 to 5 months from now, there is some weird build that has like 5 levels of Dragon Disciple for some reason that does some wacky thing. But it doesn't have to be, you just make a Dragon Disciple and you crush the entire game. But you will be able to do this well. I'm literally going to be playing a Dragon Disciple as my first thing once the servers come up, so I will be doing that. All right, next order of business is Reincarnation. This is kind of the craziest thing that I was not expecting. This just came out of nowhere. There was no announcement about this. They are making it easier to reincarnate. So, if you are somebody who is new and you're scared off by all the past lives, or you see other players with crazy stats and you're like, oh, shucks, I wish I could get that, but it takes a gajillion hours to get there. It still does, but the beginning is a lot faster. So, the changes made, it used to be your first life took 1.9 million XP, your second life was 2.85 million XP, and then after that, it was 3.8 million experience points every single level. Well, they've changed it. So now, your first 4 lives use 1.9, and then the next 3 after that use 2.85. So instead of jumping up to 3.8 on 3, you jump to 3.8 on your 8th past life, which is a huge difference. It means, not like free, but your first 4 past lives are going to feel a lot easier on pretty much any character you play. Bear in mind, I actually have a character that is second life that I think is level 15, so is over 1.9 million XP right now. So I don't know if I'm going to auto level. I have no idea how that's going to work. We're going to find out when I log in the game. So very, very cool system. Really cool change. Excited to see this. It's going to make it easier for players. Now, is this enough? I think, oh, the new curve applies to existing characters the next time they reincarnate. Never mind, it doesn't apply to me. Okay, if you're already in the life, it's not going to apply. You got to reincarnate. So I'm going to finish my 2.85 million XP life and then go back down to 1.9 million, which is really funny. But yes, so the change, this is good, very good for the game. I have advocated for more than this. I really wanted the developers to just make it so it was 1.9 million XP in total. There's over 100 past lives, so I feel like that's not a crazy thing to ask for. But I also understand why they did this, and this is kind of a more elegant solution. Whether you like it or not, at the end of the day, Standing Stone Games sells experience points. You can buy autos boxes, you can buy XP potions, and you can buy the XP tomes. And I'm going to be honest, they are big, big sellers. People buy them all the time. Should you buy them is another thing. I personally will buy the tome of XP because it gives you 50% on every quest while leveling, and it's just a one-time purchase for like 1,500 points. They go on sale all the time, so I do buy those. But outside of that, I pretty much avoid XP potions for the most part, unless I get them from like daily dice rolls or something, just because I find there's a lot of pressure. So when you have an XP potion, you want to level, go, fast, when I would much rather level at a much slower pace. And so you can kind of circumvent that by not using potions. But they do sell them. So this is a nice solution to help people get caught up a little bit, get their first few past lives. Like with this, first, third, or second, third, fourth, this allows you to have a high-powered DPS spellcaster, because you can get 3 sorcerer past lives and 1 wizard past life for +4 to DCs, which is pretty substantial for any evocation-based caster without actually taking any more XP. Granted, you have to machine gun 3 sorcerer back-to-back, but it is what it is. Anyway, other than that, we got party crashers has been adjusted so that apparently it's going to perform better because that game lagged out your computer console. Vorpal Strikes actually gives you Vorpal. What a crazy idea. And this is the VIP thing. Fixed an issue where VIP reward buffs could disappear on death. Fixed an issue where the reward for discovery was instead appearing as Artisan's Advantage. This means if you had the 1% VIP discovery bonus, it was actually going away if you died. Which, kind of annoying. Also, Head of the Beast is now less of a beast and got giga nerfed. So, keep that in mind. They nerfed the Head of the Beast. This was a fun kind of little, I wouldn't call it an Easter egg, but you could find it in Epic specifically. It would spawn in as a purple name, and it was basically like a big raid boss. And if you're on high enough difficulty, like high Reaper mode, it kind of just kills everybody. It was fun to overcome, but as I noted out in my last video when I talked about it, there were many people in the comments who were like, yeah, Head of the Beast, you mean kill me and my whole party. So, you know, probably for the best. Other than that, just some kind of whatever bug fixes. But that's pretty much it. So that is the patch. TLDR, Anniversary is out. Lots of bonuses. Go claim the Dragon Disciple because it's literally free. Talk to the Djinn to get 10% XP discovery boost once every 6 hours. It's not a big deal. It's 6 hours, and it's a huge bonus for the majority of the game. Monk is being changed, in my opinion, for the better. I'm going to be posting Monk builds as soon as I can. Dragon Disciple is coming out. It looks really cool. Does not look like it's going to break the game, but it looks really, really cool, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And TRing is now easier. And that has been your patch note review. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you had a fantastic day. I will see you later. Bye-bye.